and that's what I choose every time I make a decision. What's interesting about it is, as I get older, I'm a slow learner. As I get older, every time I've tried his way, it works. Every time I've tried my way, it hadn't worked. Now, you would think sometime or another a bell or a light would come on or something, But again, I'm a slow learner. And I still try to do things my way because I think I've got better. I still think that I can run the option. I can coach the option better than the Lord can. Pretty dumb, isn't it, to think that way. And and that's the challenge for all of us. And as a person in leadership for 170 kids, and that's what I think they are. They're my kids. Boy, I've got an awesome responsibility not to let them down, and to make sure that when they leave here, that they've heard the truth about life. And football is just it's an instrument, a tool to teach them about life. The best I know about. What is better than football to teach about life? I don't know of anything better. It's the greatest thing I know about to teach about life. And it's the best classroom there is. It's the best learning laboratory there is. And so, that's, if I miss that, I'm a fool if I miss that. And I'm going to tell you, one of these days I'll stand before Almighty God, which all of us will. Have you noticed all of us die every once in a while? Everybody dies at least once in life. And we're all going to stand and give an account. I'm going to have to give an account of those 170 kids that's out there under my leadership. And I'm going to have to say, I'm going to ask, the Lord's going to ask me, how did you do with that? Did you teach them more than football? Did you teach them about life? Did you teach them about me? And I don't want to flunk that test. I don't want to flunk it. And it's gotten more and more important to me as I get older. And I think that's, a coach, I was president of the American Football Coaches Association. And some of y'all were there and heard some of the things that I said. Coach Sheila was there and heard some things I said. And this is what I told them. If we got the greatest opportunity in the world as coaches. And if we're coaching for reasons, I know all of us, are under pressure to win ball games at scoreboard at the end of the field. We're all under pressure we're all measured by how much money we make. We're measured by how many victories we have. We're measured by this, that, and another. All those are the wrong scoreboards. We better look at the scoreboard that never turns off. There is one that never turns off. All those others turn off. And so, I think that's very, very important. Hey, when you are dealing with our kids today, get the microphone in front of as many of them as you can. Get the camera on as many of them as you can. I think you'd be amazed at what you hear coming out of their mouth. And we've had a bunch of kids. We got them from every walks of life there is. We got them from every part of the country. We've got kids that have been in prison. We got kids that have been in jail. We got kids that have no home life. We got kids from every kind of situation you can ever think of. And thank goodness that we got administration, we got leadership at Carson-Newman that believes in giving kids a second chance and giving them an opportunity to develop themselves. That believe that what we have at Carson-Newman is the place that can do that. And so consequently, it's fun to watch the process go on. And somebody said the other day, a critic came to me and said, Coach, you got guys that, they're a little shady. They're shaky. Coach, you got guys that, And I just asked them, I said, well, let me ask you something. If you didn't have second chances in your life, or if there wasn't some grace that was given to you sometime in your life, where would you be? And then here was the question. If only perfect people are in heaven, how many people you think's in heaven? And the answer to that is there's not any except Jesus. He's the only one that's perfect. So the rest of us, we left out, baby, if we got to be perfect to make it to heaven. And that doesn't mean now that we can continue to go on and do whatever we want to do, when we want to do it, how we want to do it, etc. But God knows our hearts, and He knows what's in there, and He knows what our intent is, and He knows what our motives are, and He knows what our thoughts are before we think them. Isn't that scary? And but isn't it great that we've got a God that loves us that much and got that big plan for us? All right, y'all got me preaching now. Let me answer some more questions. Sorry about the preaching.
Coach, can you talk about Carson-Newman's camp and what you expect from him this year?
Well, we put him in a new position. Of course, Christian played everything at Jefferson County High School. You know, he was probably their best athlete, and they ended up putting him at quarterback when they went to the option. But we got him at wideout, and because we'd like to get the ball in his hands some, and because he's really a super athlete and unbelievable kid. Now he's another one. You go in the ditch with that one, somebody will come out bloodied up because that will fight you. And we like Christian McFall.
Obviously, if you look at last year, 4 losses, turnovers. That's the whole story, really. Playoffs and everything. Talk a little bit about that. I know you guys don't like to look back, but that's got to be motivation coming into this year. That happened.
Anybody got any other questions? We don't talk about turnovers, and because we're not going to have any this year. It's kind of interesting, you know. We've had 13 practices, and so far Alex Good has had 0 turnovers. He has not thrown a pick, and I bet he's thrown 5,000 balls. He hadn't had a pick, and I don't remember him putting the ball on the ground yet. And so, and that's the beginning point. You know, that guy is the beginning point. So, I know Coach Turner has made that a major emphasis, and so far we, knock on wood, things are going pretty good so far. Questions?
Were you disappointed in the quarterback play last year, Coach? I mean, we expected big things out of Alex coming in when you had Joe transfer. Were you disappointed in that position last year?
Well, I can't say that I was disappointed. I was disappointed in our team performance. I was disappointed in our team character last year. I'll be honest with you. I was disappointed in the cracks that showed up in our character last year, and very disappointed in that. And we were not what we said we were last year. And so, you know, I think anybody can throw a bunch of words around and say we're this, that, and another, but the reality is what plays out in the reality of how it shows up, you know.